If you understand the methods that I'm using, how you could use it too, and it can change your life. So let me show you guys what I did. I started in 2010. My mentorship is just letting you in to the things that I'm doing. Everything I do, all my tools, everything. I'm just literally just giving everybody exposure to the things that I'm doing. Hey, let me break this down for you. Before I started my YouTube channel, I already had two barbershops. And I was making six figures behind the chair. And before I even started my YouTube channel, that was 2014. But before then, I started in 2010. I think a year and a half, 2 years after that, I opened my first shop. It was 2012. Okay, 2012, I opened my first shop, and it was a partnership. It was me, Danny, Perez, and then we opened our second shop a year after that. And in 5 years, we opened 7 barbershops. 2 years into it, I started my YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel at its peak was making about $13,000 a month, and I was living on that money. I was living on that money, and I was living on my haircutting money. But I was saving a lot of that money because I wanted to keep putting into barbershops. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I've done over the course of 14 years to be able to make 8 figures a year in my enterprise. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. You should see my tax returns. My tax bill is crazy. People don't even know that I don't brag about this stuff, but I got tired of seeing so many getting boxed in with courses and stuff like I'm a scammer. Dude, I'm genuinely just trying to get back. I'm genuinely just trying to let people into my life, because God's blessed me with a hell of a life, man. And he's given me information that what I'm gonna do, keep it, I gotta pour into others. I'm overspilling with this stuff. Started in 2010. I was passionate. I was working at Arby's. I was working at Boston Market. I was working 2 jobs while going to barber school, trying to figure out this thing. And I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it completely changed my life. Ever since then, I documented all of this. You saw the cars I was driving. I was driving $3,000 cars or less. The reason why is because I needed to make as much money as I could. And I remember subscribing to a guy named Alice Millions, and I took his online course. It was called Ad Man. Average barbers making above average money. I really subscribed to that, along with Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I just started reading a lot of books, and I would listen to his audios from his course. It changed my life. I remember making 6 figures, and we were living way below our means, but we had a lot of bills because I'm 20 years old, 21 years old. My wife is 20 years old. We got a kid. We got real responsibilities, real bills and all that. We would get like $7,000 back in our tax returns. Every time we got a tax return, we didn't go and spend it. My goal was to save as much money as I could, stack that tax return on top of it, and we was gonna invest it, because I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that's what he told me to do. The first investment was a barbershop. I did it with my business partners. My next investment, I did the same play all over again, okay? But this time, because I had the 6-figure income, but because I had the other barbershop, and we still got a good tax return, I was able to save more money than I did the year before. And so I had like $25,000 that I had saved by the end of the year. What I do, I put some of it into a barbershop, and then I bought a house, okay? The reason why I was able to buy a house is because this was during the recession. I bought a house for $89,000. I bought a house for $89,000, okay? This was back in 2012, the same year that I opened my second shop. So now I got 2 shops and I got a house. That was the best thing I could have done, because what ended up blossoming from that was the house went up in value. I moved out of it, and I moved in with my in-laws, because my in-laws got sick. So my wife wanted to be there to be able to take care of them. So we moved an hour away into my in-laws. We were splitting the bills. I was saving money by doing that. But we were also getting more money because I was renting the property out, and we were making like $600 a month. So now I got 3 assets. Okay? The house is making me $600 a month. The barbershops are making about $5,000 a month. We're not touching any of it. What I did was I kept living on the haircut money and not touching the business's monies. See, the real estate is a compounding machine. The businesses are compounding machines. If humans didn't go in and leech money off of it, a business could grow into something amazing. But the problem is that most people open businesses and then they create a lifestyle that's dependent on a business. You see, I never did that. That's why I never got into a car payment. That's why I always lived below my means, because I let my businesses blossom. And what I did was I just kept living below my means, cutting hair, acting like I didn't own 3 businesses, like I didn't have 3 assets that were compounding. And then this is what happened. The house doubled in value. In those 2 years that the house doubled in value, I made $10,000 in cash flow. So what ended up happening on the 3rd year, and this is how we opened 7 barbershops in 5 years, because on the 3rd year, we ended up opening, I think, 2 or 3 shops. One of the ways I was able to do that with my business partners was I sold that house. I made like $70,000 off of that house, plus, $70,000 plus the rental income. So I probably had like $80,000, $90,000 in that just snowballed in a couple years. I was living below my means, so I was saving my haircut money too. That was just a bonus. That was just letting the compound machine grow. What did I do with that 70 grand? Did I go buy a baller house? Did I go buy a nice new car? Did I go buy jewelry, get dressed fancy? Hell no. People make fun of the shit that I wore. I took that 70 grand and I put some of it into barbershops. I put the rest into 245. And that was probably the best decision that I ever could have made. There's no stock that could have gave me those returns. So 245 became a machine, a money-making machine. And we never, ever took money out of the machine. So 245 kept snowballing. You guys know how much it costs to develop the Beam team? To build something from scratch, the tooling, first the 3D designs, the engineering, the sourcing of all the components, traveling to and from China for meetings, getting the tooling done, the molds done, and then you gotta order. That's before you even have one in your hands. You've already spent $300,000. Then you gotta order. You're in $1 million cash. How do you think I was able to do that? Because we never took money out of 245. We just kept investing it in. And then how were we able to do the power mat? That was over $1 million too. And then the power pods, over $1 million too. To develop something from scratch like that, that's why we haven't done clippers, because it's so expensive. If you want to do it from scratch and not private label, we don't want a private label. If you want to do it from scratch, it's very expensive to do. You guys have had some bad tools before. There's a lot that can go wrong when you get to that level of engineering. But that's how we were able to do those projects with cash. No investors, no debt, none of that. Now we have 7 barbershops in 5 years that are compounding. We're not taking no money out. We got 245 that's doing multi-millions of dollars a year. We're not taking no money out. We're just compounding it. I'm living on YouTube money now. My YouTube took off. I'm still cutting hair. I'm still cutting hair, guys. I'm doing all these things and I'm still cutting hair and I'm making money from YouTube. Do the math on how much cash flow is coming in and I'm not touching none of it. Do the math on that. We just signed our lease for our 10th location and we're still snowball. And so let me show you what happens when you do that. These are the spreadsheets that Danny built. This is back when we had 5 barbershops. These barbershops were netting $563,000. At this point in time, we understood that if we didn't spend any of this money and we just kept putting it back in, we could open a barbershop every 2 months without getting in any debt. And so Danny broke this down. What does that turn into? Holy shit, it is compounding like you said it is, Basio. Dude, we don't need to do it this way. I'm at 10 locations now. That's $1 million a year. But we already had the lease signed for 2 or 3, and then we'll do 5 every single year. So let's say this number gets to 3 million and we keep compounding it. Look at what this turns into. That's just with the barbershops. What about everything else that we do? I'm doing the same play with pie counting, the same play with 245, the same play with the mentorship. I do the same play over and over and over again. I live a humble life. I have all the time freedom that because of that. And I have little stress and I can do things with my family that most people can't do. This took 14 years. I started in 2010. It took me 14 years. You guys saw the journey. I literally vlogged it the entire, you guys saw it. But I don't think people understood how astronomical this could grow in 14 years because this isn't cool to people. And I don't brag about this stuff. If I was like all these other guys on social media, shit, then you guys will be listening. But this stuff right here is not cool to people. But that's okay with me because there's people that go viral like crazy and they're fly by night. I could lose all my followers tomorrow, guys. I could turn off my Instagram forever and I'm good. That is a blessing. And that's what I want people to realize, that that's possible for you too. You know, the only thing that we're seeing on social media that people are flexing about is honestly temporary glow. That's all it is. Well, I'm sharing these things now more than I ever have because I'm getting tired of everybody thinking that shit's cool. It's not. That's fly by night, bro. I'm not, I don't like to brag about stuff, but if I don't, people won't even know this is possible. Now, all I do, guys, is mentor. And that's why it works. What I do works because all I have to do now, because I have all the resources, all the time freedom, a beautiful family, I'm happy. All I get to do now is mentor. And so that's what we do for our barbershops. That's why my team is dope. Like, they have leadership meetings without me. They're traveling the world coaching without me, right? It's not because I found them or not like that. Most of these guys were my clients first. Nate was my client. Now he's a barber traveling the world educating. Dre was my client. Now that man don't even cut hair no more. What we like, this shit is possible for everyone. You can be literally humble about this shit and have the best life ever, but nobody talks about it, right? It's not cool, but as soon as I wrote what I wrote, somebody said, Cap, that I make it 8 figures a year. Somebody said, Cap. Because they're used to, when they see somebody who generates that type of income, they're used to seeing that person. This is too small. I didn't even buy this. This was a gift from my team. My barbers put money together and bought me this. I didn't buy this. My wife bought me this. I didn't buy these. My wife bought, these are gifts. I didn't buy these. And it's nothing crazy, but it is to me, because this is more than materialistic. This is more than money. This is love. This is friendship. This is relationships. You guys get what I'm saying? And they don't believe me when I say this stuff, but it's because this isn't normal. So my mentorship is, I do this shit with my team, with my family, with my friends. I had to get you with that title. Just know, man, I'm just trying to help people, bro. I'm trying to inspire y'all. Our guys are so passionate. Tyler's so passionate. I just want to keep growing this so they can keep pouring into people, bro. And it's dope.